Welcome to this morning's version of Overboard Birding. I, I guess, a couple of friends said I should call this Overboard Birding because it's birding for the overly bored. Not really. I think one of the other things to consider is that there's a place in the world for boredom. Not sleeping, but like just boredom because it makes you ponder and question and start looking at other solutions. And birds are one amazing way to help us do that. And so, welcome to Overboard Birding. Today, one of the 77 behaviors that I've identified is probably the one that you're going to see the most often, and that's because it's moving, and that is flight. And so, one of the reasons I like to use pigeons as opposed to, I have quite a few birds, but pigeons can be held without harming them. They also can be, you can manipulate them. You can show all kinds of features that are so common to almost every flighted bird. And so they're wonderful to teach, especially with children. You can get small children. If I use a finch or a canary, they'll end up squeezing them, and you're gone. That bird's gone. It's toast. But they can't. If you teach them how to, I let kids squeeze my hand. I say that's too hard. That's just right. And then I let them hold the birds, and they do just great. So I use these for each of my lessons. So the first lesson is flight because it's what catches our eyes. By far the most often that you're going to see a bird in your life is because what else moves through the sky, especially at diagonal angles? I mean, think about it. In the wind, if a bag's blowing, it blows almost straight, or it drifts. If something's coming down like rain, some use that can come down, so that can be interesting. That'll catch your eye. But diagonal things are what really catch your eyes with birds. You can watch wheat blowing in the wind, and it's not the same. It's just side to side. Fish swimming in an aquarium, generally side to side. They don't swim fast enough to catch the eye, but birds jart, and they go quickly. When I jart, this bird kind of stuns it. But so what do they? So flight, and what makes them fly? And so if this bird thinks it's dropping, like if I have its feet pinned, so it's not going to do very much. But if I unpin its feet, and then it thinks it's dropping, oh, I guess I'm not going to get a response out of this one. But they'll usually flop their wings. Most birds will. This one's quite tame. I've spent a lot of time with it. And so the very first one is prospecting, which is flying. Why do they do it? Because they're looking for food. Before they even are looking for food, they're looking for other birds all gathered to one vicinity, because what does that mean? It means there's a lot of food there. And so prospecting on the wing, which is otherwise called flying, is one of the very first things they're going to do. And so that's the number one thing that you're going to witness, and so it's the number one of 77 that I'm going to list. And thank you for joining us for today's episode of Overly Bored Birding, Flying.